Ashley, what was it like to see a demon in real life? Let me tell you. I don't have too much time, so I'm not going to go into the backstory about how I used to be an ex-white witch and then Jesus came in and saved me, but if you want to hear that story, it is pinned on my page. So let's talk about it. So at this point in my life, I had moved out of my parents' house. I was probably 21. I was living in a home with roommates, and every single day I had a way to channel my higher being, to open my third eye, to align my chakras and reach the highest consciousness, to become my own goddess. I had rituals that I would do every single day. And this day it happened to be a form of transcendental meditation. Now, if you don't know what that is, I would recommend looking it up, but it is witchcraft. I had already been experiencing a million other things that were telling me that what I was doing should be red flags, but because I was so deceived, I didn't see it. This was only a couple days after my roommate had a demonic encounter as a demon literally visited her room at 3 a.m. She calls me frantic, scared for her life, and I had to run in her room. Not suspicious at all. So I'm sitting in my living room, okay? I'm listening to chakra aligning music. I have all of my items and paraphernalia of witchcraft spread out in front of me. I had a case, a Chester drawer in my living room of all the things you could need as a witch, think of as a new ager. Crystals, tarot cards, manifestation things, spell books, Ouija board paraphernalia. I had everything you could think of. So I'm about to start channeling. I'm about to start going into the transcendental meditation. I'm about to start the ritual to awaken my inner goddess, to channel my spirit guides, to open further my third eye and become more conscious and aware. I contorted my body into a yoga pose, unknowingly yoking myself with a Hindu god. And as I sat there, listening to chakra aligning music, going into a transcendental state of meditation, I was all of a sudden able to see in the physical realm my living room with my eyes closed. With my eyes closed, sitting, I was able to see my TV. I was able to see my table. I was able to see the witchcraft that I had sitting out. I was able to see the couch on the other side of the room. I was able to see everything as if I was opening my eyes and looking at it all in front of me. My eyes, again, were closed. Not only was I able to see the physical with my eyes closed, I was now starting to see this spiritual. I remember seeing everything and noticing that my eyes were closed and thinking, oh my gosh, this is it. I'm awakening my highest consciousness. I'm arriving. And it was so fun and exciting until I start to hear something out of the corner of the living room, and that's where I had an office and a guest bedroom, and it sounded like something was in my office. And I looked over to that area and I saw, plain as day, walking out of my office directly in front of me, and then a straight line right to my face, the tallest, and I had cathedral ceilings in this house, they're about 20 feet high, the tallest, maybe 15 foot tall, black entity that it was like lanky and skinny and bones everywhere, and there was no face, and it was dark, and the whole room turned dark when it entered, and it came right in front of me, and it bent down, reminder, like 15 foot tall, I'm sitting on a couch, so it bent down, legs straight, bent over at the waist, and looked at me and just went, and it stayed there for what felt like hours. I couldn't move, I couldn't speak, I couldn't scream, I couldn't do anything. I was stuck in paralysis. And paralysis is not something that I was unaware of at this time. I was waking up every single night at 3 a.m. with either a panic attack or sleep paralysis, but I had never experienced this in broad daylight while I was awake in meditation. I was trying, my spirit was trying so hard to come out of my body, to run, to scream, to beg for help, to say something, maybe to scare this thing off or just to get myself out of the house. I was trying so hard that when I finally broke out of this trance, my body jolted into the floor. I fell into the floor because every cell in my body was trying to move. As it broke off, as I fell into the floor, the demon was gone. I was no longer able to see in the spirit, and I ran out of my house. Now, because of the deep deception, I didn't think, oh, this is because of me. I was like, oh, my house is haunted. Awesome. I called one of my friends, Alexa, and I said, what in the world was this? What is going on? My house is haunted. And now Alexa was a Christian, so she knew. And she said, girl, you need to get all that stuff out of your house. You need to stop messing with that Ouija board stuff, that tarot card stuff, that spell book stuff, that crystal manifestation stuff, and you need to trash it, get rid of it, and you need to pray over your house. I also should mention that she was at my house just a couple days before this, anointing my home and praying, because that demon that my roommate saw in her room, it was from me. She had finally had enough and said, get it out. all of the stuff, get it out. And I wasn't even a Christian at this point. I was just calling her for advice, and she had had enough with the demons that I was allowing in my life and the life of others by filling with things that I had no business in. But thank God she had the confidence and the boldness to tell me, get it out, because after that, there was a lot of peace. After that, I started to see a little clearer. And after that, I truly started to question, who is Jesus? And why is he caring about me in this time where I'm so far away from him? Now, that doesn't mean that I stopped doing witchcraft, and it doesn't mean that the demonic encounters stopped, but it does mean that he began to step in my life. It does mean that he began to rescue me, he began to show me, he began to convict me, and he began to direct me. Now, whereas my walk with witchcraft was long from over, I still had months that I would continue to walk through things, to experience things, to be tormented by things, and to struggle with things because of the things that I was doing unknowingly. It was the first time that hell got a notification that they were about to lose me. My God is mighty to save, and the saving was coming.